You guys aren't stupid, and you'll get it as well.
Ah, eat that, bitch. What's going on, peeps? Today I'm going to take this time to talk about a couple of moments while working at Walmart that made me really, really proud of myself. Walmart gets a bad rap in a lot of ways, and most of it is deserved. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but for me, Walmart was really, really good to me. They treated me with a lot of respect. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I just came there and did my job and didn't complain about anything, but I had a lot of respect from people I worked with, managers, even the district manager was quite fond of me, so I had no bad things to say about my experience there. But there was a couple times when things got a little bit hairy. There was this one time I was working in electronics, and the department manager had gone on vacation, and I don't remember if I had been, I was the acting department manager during that time. I don't really remember that, but during her vacation, we were also getting a visit from the bigwigs, like really big corporate people from Walmart. So, there was a lot of stress about that. The bigwigs came in the store, and I don't know what got shoved up their asses, but they were just pissed off at everything. There was this TV that had been returned, and they said it was broken, and the protocol for that is you bring it to the back and you test it before you bring it to claims. If it's broken, then they get their money back, whatever. So I had this TV in the back. I was hooking it up to make sure it worked, and one of my co-associates, Diana, was talking to me. One of the bigwigs, of course, showed up at that time, and we got yelled at, and then they walked off, and they found a million other things wrong with the department, a million other things wrong with the entire store. I don't know what was going on, but everybody was pissed and everybody got in trouble. So we knew that when our department manager, Donna, came back, we knew that we were all getting in trouble. And we also all knew it was bullshit, but that's just the kind of thing you take when you work for a corporation. So Donna comes back, they talk with the managers, and they decide that they're going to bring us in 2 at a time, and we're all going to get written up. I may have this wrong. It's been a long time since I've been there. 10 years already. Holy shit. But written up was like a step below being coached, which is like you get coached 3 times, you're fired. So it wasn't a great big giant deal. So they start bringing everybody in, and when it's time for me to go in, I'm going in with our friend Rob, my friend Rob. And Rob is a cool guy. Rob is the nicest guy. He's a hard worker. He's extremely smart. He never gets in trouble for anything, and he's getting in trouble for this, But Rob's also a little bit too nice. He's kind of timid, and he's not going to speak up, And I get that. That's fine. So they bring us in. They sit us down, and Donna's there, and I think there's probably the assistant and the co-manager there. I don't remember the store manager being there. And they start talking, and they're like, you were playing video games in the back, and this and that, and they were going through everything they found wrong with the department, and we've got to do what we've got to do, and this and that. So they get done talking, and they're like, do you have any questions? And I go, yes. Is that what they say happened? Because that's not what happened at all. And they stared at me dumbfounded. I said, Donna, you know me. I look right at Donna. I'm like, you know me. Okay? You've known me for a long time. Donna, as a matter of fact, kind of on the down low because she was a department manager, not supposed to be mingling with her subordinates. She came to my son's first birthday party. That's how close we all were. So Donna's known me for a long time. And I said, Donna, you know me. Okay? First of all, there's no video games in the back to play. So I don't even know why you're accepting this, And on top of that, I wouldn't do that. And if you think that I would do that, then I'll hand you my vest right now and I'll walk out. Because I'm not accepting that. I said, I have no problem accepting something I've done wrong. If I'm wrong and I've screwed up, I have no problem accepting any consequences that come up from that. I never have. And Rob at this point, because I've spoken up, Rob is like, no, that's not what happened. He's right behind me. I told Donna what happened. I said there's a TV that was brought back. I brought it to the back to hook it up, make sure it worked before I brought it to claims. Diana and I were talking. If you want to get me for talking, that's fine. I can accept that. But what they're saying happened is not what happened, and I have no problem telling them that if they show up here again. And they're like, no, 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 please don't do that. That if you're asking me to sign something, I'm not doing that either, because what you're accusing me of is not what happened. I was so fucking pissed. I was livid that these bigwigs just came in and they were just making up stories and trying to get us in trouble, you know? I was, so mad. But eventually, everything died down. Not much came up of it, you know. We talked it out, everything was fine, and it just all kind of disappeared. There was this other time a few years later, Donna wasn't department manager anymore, and I was just visiting in the store. It was my day off. I lived like a 10-minute walk away. That's how I got to work. I walked there every day. And I was just visiting, and I go to see everybody in the department, and they're like, everyone's pissed. And apparently what had happened is customer brings back something, and a couple of the associates went up, and you know, according to policy, they said we can't do this, we can't exchange this, we can't return it, whatever. And so they asked our manager, of course, and the assistant manager goes up there, and the assistant manager just gives it to him. And I get, you know, the customer is always right thing, but actually that's not right at all. The customer is not always right, especially when they're trying to screw with you and get what they don't deserve. You know, no one's ever right when that happens. But it wasn't even that. It was a situation where the customer said, well, the associate said this, this, and this, and the assistant manager with the associate standing there looks at the customer and says, they're just electronics, they don't know anything. And when I heard this, I fucking flipped my lid. I stormed in the back. I went and found the assistant manager who was sitting in the manager's office on a computer, and I walk up to her and I'm like, can I talk to you? She's like, yeah, and she could see I was angry. And I went through the whole story, and I was smart enough not to like scream and swear and all that. It's not really my style anyway. But I'm like, I heard that you said this, and I'm not happy about it, and this, and that. And she's like, calm down, you're shaking, calm down. I'm like, well, you know, this is not cool. You know, we were just doing everything by policy, and you know, you don't have to belittle us and things like that. And she tried to turn it around and say that the associates were saying things that weren't true, and I knew this manager was full of shit. She's a known bullshitter. So, you know, that was that. You know, I went back and I talked to the associates, and everything was cool. I was kind of like second in command at the time. Again, that was always my position. The store manager once tried to talk me into going into management, but I had seen friends of mine go into management, and they were never the same person. You know, not even in the sense that, you know, when you're a manager, you know, you have to be a jerk sometimes. You have to make tough decisions that people don't like, and I get that. You know, that's fine. But a lot of people I saw went in were completely different people. They were just total assholes. And I wasn't doing that. I didn't care how much more money I would make. It didn't matter to me. I just never wanted to be a manager. So, but I went back and talked to the associates and tried to get them calmed down and back to doing whatever. And, you know, there's just a couple times. Those are the only 2 times I could really recall that I was that pissed that I went back at management, because it didn't matter. If I wasn't happy there, I would have quit. And that's just the way it is. But there's a certain amount of respect that goes along, and you don't see it very often. Excuse me. You don't see it very often between managers and associates and things like that. But I was willing to stand up for myself and anyone in the department that was being wronged, and that was my thing. I didn't care. You know, I'm about what's right. I'm not about playing politics. Not me, never was me. As a matter of fact, real quick, as a special bonus, I'll give you an example of someone who changed when they became a manager. The department manager, Donna, from before, eventually became an assistant manager. And I think I was asking for Fridays off. I wanted every Friday off. I'd been working there for like 4 or 5 years at this point. And, or maybe I already had Fridays off and I was asking for Saturdays off too, because just to spend more time with my kids that I only got to see on weekends. My son. I only had one kid at that time. So I go to Donna about it, who was at my son's first birthday party, and she says, no, I can't give that to you. And in a real dickish kind of way too. It wasn't even like she sat me down and explained it. She's like, no, I can't. So I went over her head to the store manager And store manager's name was Dion, and Dion was like, no problem, you've got it. So from that point on, I had Fridays and Saturdays off every week. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this person that was my friend, that knew me and knew my life and knew how hard I worked, and had even been there through me for a couple of really hard times when I was just struggling with life and things like that, for her to turn around like that and just dismiss me like I was nothing and say, no, you can't have that. That's an example of what, I mean, they must train you to do that. And not even just Walmart, like everywhere. When you're trained to be a manager, you're just trained to be a total asshole. And but I go to the store manager, like I said, I was always cool with Dion. Dion was the man. He was a good guy. As a matter of fact, I saw him about a week ago in this other Walmart. And he shook my hand, asked me how I was doing, and I told him I'd written a book, and he was very proud of that. And so I've had cool relationships with managers, but that's why I never wanted to be one myself. I never wanted to be that person. If I had become a manager, I would have done what I thought was right, which is not their idea of what's right. Their idea of what's right computes to making money, while my idea of doing things right is what's right. That's the way corporate America is. So anyway, that's all I got. I rambled a little bit longer than I wanted to. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bobby hugs for everybody, and as always, it's Bobby's world, and you're all just living in it. CLC for life, y'all.
No, sorry. I can't give you that. Even though I know you and you're a hard worker and you've been here a while, and I can't give you that. Fuck you.